My first trip down to the new house is very quickly approaching. Today I am taking the trailer in to get serviced. It's getting the bearings repacked, and then I also have a little bit of electrical work to have done on it. It's nothing too serious, but they're all things that are better to get taken care of now before I start making trips. As of this moment, my plan is to take a trailer load full of things down the same trip I take all of the cats. Tiny will join my 3 other cats, Charlotte, Ragnar, and Pumpkin, in the cab of the truck with me. I haven't quite decided what stuff I'm bringing down, but I do have to take one of the pieces of equipment with me, so hopefully the manure spreader will fit into the horse trailer. We did get a crazy amount of rain last night, so I'm gonna have to feed my very last giant bale as quickly as possible.
Nigel?
Yesterday, we did say goodbye to Pearl, and Frisco is having a particularly difficult time with this adjustment. He has gotten along with Nigel in the past, so I'm gonna put these 2 old boys together and hopefully it'll take Frisco's mind off of Pearl.
Be nice to him, Nigel. Frisco Bill. Okay, old boy. Nigel! You better straighten up.
Nigel is being a little bit extra sassy this morning towards Frisco Bill, so if these 2 boys can't get along, there are other options for Frisco for a friend. I've got a bunch of stuff to do to prepare today, and it looks like I am gonna have to figure out how to dispose of this giant bale very quickly. That does change my plans a little bit because I wanted to bring some of the horses' hay down to switch them over at the new barn.
Whip!
Over the last couple of
Hey,
weeks,
Whip.
I've learned to be a bit more flexible with everything I have planned. While driving to the trailer store, I'll have time to rearrange everything I've got going on.
Wrinkly.
It looks like these boys have pretty much eaten all of their big square bales in the nets.
Boys?
There's just a little bit left. That should be enough to get them through the day. On all my trips down, I will have my horse sitter here watching these guys, but it'll be so much easier for her if they're
Whip.
out on
Sweet
square
boy.
bales and she doesn't have to worry about feeding them every morning and night. I was really hoping these bales that I put out less than a week ago were gonna last these horses much longer, but they got a little bit too excited about the free
the
choice
man.
hay and gobbled it up a lot
Boy.
faster than I had anticipated. There are a lot of moving parts to this trip, and I don't want to worry about getting hay
your face,
when I
buddy.
get down to Colorado.
Poop on your
It does
face.
seem like there is going to be a lot available still this time of year. While I am thinking pretty far ahead, I am not getting worried about most of the things
Good boys.
past the next couple of days. I have more than enough to keep me busy, and if I think about everything I need to do too hard, then I'm definitely going to get overwhelmed. With the seasons changing, some of the neighbors are turning out cows or bringing in horses for the summer. It has definitely started to feel a lot more like fall around here. The leaves haven't started changing quite yet, but they are right on the cusp of it. This year, I've noticed that the grass is staying greener a lot longer. We've had a ton more rain this fall than we usually do, so it's helping me allow the horses to be out on the pasture a bit longer than normal. Ziggy, Prim, and Scarlet's pasture is not very big, so they really don't have too much to munch on out here, but they really do like to get out for half of the day and run around. Even with all the rain we just had, it looks like there's not any snow on the mountains yet, which is a little bit of a surprise, but it has been a bit warmer than usual. These three have been getting along really well lately. It is wild to see how much bigger Scarlet is than Ziggy now. They were pretty close to the same size not that long ago.
Zig!
Every once in a while, I'll get a comment on why I haven't started Scarlet under saddle. And besides the point that we've been looking for a house all summer and now getting ready to move, Scarlet is still actively growing, so there's no way that her growth plates are closed. While it wouldn't be unreasonable for me to pop on her and ride her around a time or two at this point in time, I just as soon turn her out and let her grow a bit more and play with Ziggy and Prim.
Zig! Oh.
In preparation for our move, Ziggy is trying his hardest to stay as filthy as possible.
There you go.
He's got himself a little mud pit that he goes to every single day at least once. He also gets quite sassy when the girls want to come over and partake in rolling around in it. With last night's storm, his little pit has the perfect mixture of mud and moisture to put on a nice fine coat. Even though it looks a little bit gloomy today, it will warm up later this afternoon, and I do have plans to bathe all of the horses before we move. That is one of the things that is pretty far down the list, so if I get caught up with packing or doing other things, then these horses are just going to have to go down to their new house a little bit on the dirty side. It's really not a big deal. I would just prefer these horses are clean and well kept when they get on the hauler's trailer. It looks like Nigel and Frisco are not as good of friends as they were before.
Nigel?
In an effort to take Frisco's mind off of Pearl, I am giving him a few extra little snacks throughout the day. Unfortunately, Frisco has had a lot of friends just like Pearl that he always seems to outlive. It is really nice that he continues to stay pretty healthy even at his age, but it is really sad when I bring him a new friend and they don't get to stay as long as I had hoped. Frisco was given a pretty good chunk of time to say goodbye to Pearl, but I think he will still be lonely for a while just because he doesn't have a special friend to hang out with. Like clockwork, as soon as I start dilly-dallying, Tiny shows up. I'm starting to feel a little bit rushed because I'm taking the trailer down today, picking it up tomorrow, packing it, and then leaving bright and early in the morning with the cats. I haven't decided if I'm going to scoop Tiny up the night before and bring her to my house just to make sure she doesn't miss her ride. After a quick check of the lights, it looks like I'm ready to head to the trailer store. I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I had my trailer custom built, and I think a few of you took that the wrong way. My trailer is extremely practical. It's a Titan, it's steel. These are some of the best trailers for the least amount of money. You can get a brand new one for around $20,000 depending on all of the different things that you want in it. When I had mine built, it was basically just a plain stock trailer, and then I had the horse slants added, the tack room added, and then I had a different rear door put on. It is basically the skin of a stock trailer with the insides of a horse trailer. The prices have gone up in the last couple of years, but it is still one of the best deals out there. I really like aluminum trailers for hauling on the highway, but for me on the gravel roads, the steel is preferable. I saw this really cool custom Titan that I had to check out for a friend. She has been looking for one that is extra wide and extra tall, and this one was definitely built for draft horses. It's really cool. It has a little tack room in the front, and after I looked at the divider, it's pretty obvious that this was built for a carriage company. That's what this winch was used for. You could pull your carriage on and then load your horses behind. This trailer is in excellent shape. I would be surprised if it wasn't stored in a barn. I saw this trailer on their website before I came. It's a 2003, so it's over 20 years old, and it basically looks brand new. I took a bunch of pictures, sent them to my friend because I think this is exactly what she's looking for. Especially in Montana, these trailers hold their value extremely well, so they can be a better investment than some of the other brands. One of the ways that I have made quite a bit of money over the years is buying used trailers, fixing them, and then reselling them. The last trailer that I flipped is the one that I used to buy my current trailer. If you have a good understanding of the market and are not afraid of putting in a little elbow grease, this can be a really good way to work your way up to the trailer you want. I have always been pretty realistic about what I can afford at the time, and while I would have loved to buy a trailer like this Platinum, it just was not in the budget. This is a 4-horse. It has drop-down windows. The dividers you can see through, which I think is very similar to what the horses are going to be traveling on with the hauler's trailer. This trailer is very similar to the last one I sold. It was a 4-star. It was only a 2-horse, otherwise I probably would have kept it instead of selling it. These trailers are also a really good investment if you can afford it. This one is still over $20,000 and it's 20 years old. A lot of people starting out with horses are going to opt for something a bit more reasonable, like this little bumper pull. This one does have some damage at the bottom. You would need to check the floors and make sure everything was in working order. I started my YouTube channel pretty far along in my horse journey, so I did have a trailer like this that I bought as my very first trailer, but I have since been able to invest in better equipment over the years. They have this one priced around $3,000. I would honestly try and find a better deal on a trailer that's in a little bit better shape. As I was pulling out, I saw this really cool dog trailer. I had thought that it would be cool for the cats, but I really like to keep my eye on them when we're traveling. When I had my trailer made a few years ago was when the used market was really hot, and it looks like it's slowed down quite a bit. This trailer was kind of cool. It had a side ramp. This is closer to what you see on the East Coast. A lot of people have these kinds of trailers out there. Here is a quick look at some of the new trailers that they have. These ones are going to be basically just like mine on the inside, just the outside is a little bit different. Here is a brand new 4-star like we just looked at, and this one new is double the price of that one that is 20 years old. Even the horse specific stock trailers are quite a bit more expensive than the way I had mine built. While I won't be buying a new trailer anytime soon, I can definitely buy myself some breakfast. This place bakes all of their pastries fresh daily from wheat that they harvest right down the road. It is one of the places I am definitely gonna miss when we move out of the area. I got a scone and a breakfast sandwich, and I felt like I was ready to tackle the rest of my day. While I'm packing up the barn, I am still doing a bunch of chores at home. My husband is down at the new property getting all of that stuff in order, and I am back at the house cleaning up, boxing all of our things, and getting it ready to load onto the trailer in a couple of days. I picked up a few things that I need for cleaning the house, and while I'm traveling, I have quite a lot of stuff to get packed up and ready to haul down to the new house, so this afternoon, that is what I'm going to spend my time doing. I basically did a 24-hour speed clean. I did stop and sleep a few hours. The next day I was ready to tackle some more chores at the barn. In order to get all of the horses ready to travel, I did have Coggins tests pulled on some of them. They do have all of their health certificates ready. The last thing I have to do to get them ready to be
Frisco
hauled
Bale?
is get their brand inspections done.
Tailored boy.
Frisco is doing a little bit worse today. He
Hey,
is
boy.
really down. I think it's because it's much hotter as well. He's just been standing in his stall in front of his fan all day. Nigel has proven to be more of an annoyance than the support I had hoped for. I'm feeling a little bit frantic today, and of course, I went to go make a really cool transition and completely forgot to film the end. I've got a lot of things on my mind, but I
Hold on,
really
Stu.
am trying hard to keep up with everything that's going on for you guys. The brand inspector is going to be here in about an hour, so I have to get all of the horses caught up so she can look at them. For any of you guys that don't know what the brand inspector does, she is going to come over
just way
and
too
just
big
make
for you,
sure
buddy.
all of the paperwork on the horses I have
See?
match. In Montana, the brand inspection serves as your sole
Team
proof
shirt,
of
alternate.
ownership. It is more important than a bill of sale in most
Good boy,
cases,
Pete.
so it's really important that all of your horses have that piece of paperwork up to date. The rules do vary state to state, so if you're doing a lot of traveling in the US across state lines with horses out west, it is something that you do need to be aware of. Bringing all of the horses in to get looked at by the brand inspector did give me the opportunity to make sure everybody had a halter that fit them. I have a ton of extras, but they were mostly yearling and weanling sizes. I don't get too many babies anymore, but I did used to buy a lot of them at auction. After giving Frisco and Nigel another snack, I just had to wait around for the inspector to come. I have felt like I've been doing a pretty good job at cleaning up around the barn, but every once in a while I'll see things laying around that need to be picked up. Since Frisco is having a hard time being friends with Nigel, I decided to give Studman a try. Initially, I had planned to take Frisco, Pearl, and Nigel all down at the same time, and without Pearl on the trailer, there is room for another horse or two to go down with me. If Studman gets along with Frisco and I feel like it would benefit both of them to come down together, then I'll add Studman to that trailer. The hauler that I'm using for the other horses has the whole entire trailer reserved for me, so no matter how many horses are on it, it will be the same price. While Studman can be a little bit of a turd turned out with the other horses, he is pretty nice when he is in his own space. Thankfully, Ziggy, Prim, and Scarlet do have enough left on their big square bale that I don't have to worry about their hay for the next couple of days. These horses are pretty orderly about eating their square bale. They do eat the outside first, so even if it gets a little bit of rain on it, they typically will eat all of that stuff first. Because Ziggy wanted to make the brand inspector's job really hard, he decided to cover himself in another layer of filth before I caught him for the day.
Ziggo.
The new place is more high desert than we're at right now, so I'll be interested to see if he's able to keep himself as filthy as he likes here. It looks like after just a few moments
boy.
to be reintroduced, Frisco and Studman are getting along really nicely. Frisco is even ignoring him a little bit. Studman keeps coming over and tries to groom him, but Frisco is still a little bit down.
Whoop. Careful, girl.
Another thing that I had thought
Yeah.
about is taking Ziggy, Prim, and Scarlet down on the first horse trailer and then sending Nigel and Frisco with the hauler. After calculating how many mandatory trips I have to make down to the new house, I decided it would be a whole lot better if I could sell all of my panels before I leave. I, of course, will have use for them down at the new place, but bringing them all with me on several different loads is just not
Relax,
feasible.
girl.
I got a really good deal on most of these panels and I will be selling them for what I paid. So I shouldn't lose any money on it unless it gets closer to the time that I need to sell them and they aren't sold. I was really proud of Scarlett today. She was a complete angel for the brand inspector. When she was looking her over, she even asked me if she was for sale. So I'm feeling pretty proud of my little pony this afternoon. Everybody was pretty well behaved. I have not been getting them out as much as I had hoped to prepare them for the long haul.
Goosey.
One of the horses that I'm a little bit nervous about hauling is Goose. I don't think I've had him on a trailer since I bought him. He has basically been Whiplash's emotional support horse since I bought him, so he hasn't really gone out and about too much. Prim, I would have also liked to take on a few more trailer rides. Since she is in foal, it is a little bit risky to haul her so far.
Nigel?
She's far enough along in her pregnancy that unless something crazy happens and the trailer gets stuck on the road, she should be fine. I do try really hard not to worry about things that haven't happened, but I do like to be a little bit prepared. After being out with Frisco for a while, it looks like Studman has kind of settled into life back in his own little paddock. It's nice to have all of the boys together, but there's a possibility at the new place that it won't work as well. One thing I noticed is that Nigel was not very happy about having Whiplash over next to his pen.
You little turd. Nigel, give it a rest.
While Studman is not a stud anymore and hasn't been for years, it seems like Nigel is still threatened by him being around his pen. I did get a lot of stuff done over the last 2 days. It does feel good to have all of the horses' paperwork complete.
I'm going, Tiny.
Tiny has taken her supervising to a whole new level lately. She's been keeping a suspicious eye on me no matter what I'm doing. And even though it's getting dark, I do have to take care of this giant bale of hay by tonight. For any of you guys that wonder what I do when I need small size flakes to go in the nets, this is how I often do it. Since this is the last big square that I have, I want to get some little flakes off of it to put in nets for Frisco Bill. If I could get maybe 10 hay bags made up for him, that would last him the first couple of days at the new place. Thankfully, it didn't get too moist when it got rained on, so all of this hay is still perfectly good except on the very ends. My initial plan was to have enough small bags of hay to take down for all of the horses, but as I was loading up bags for Frisco, it became pretty apparent that if I did that, I would not have enough to feed the horses while I was away on my trips. With Frisco's hay prepared, I decided to go ahead and split this big square bale into 2 smaller ones for the boys. This should be enough hay for while I'm going back and forth. The horse sitter won't have to feed them too much and they can enjoy the hay at their leisure. The sun was rapidly setting and I thought I would have enough time to get this done before it got dark, but it took me a lot longer than I had planned.
Are you serious? Whip. Tiny.
After another late night, I finally finished with my chores for the day, just in time to bring the horses in. Tomorrow, I've got to go pick up the trailer, get it packed, and then the next day, I will be heading down to the new property with the cats. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're not subscribed, make sure to do that so you don't miss any new videos coming out. I will be back on my regular schedule with some bonus videos in between as I get caught back up.